Okay, great. I'm Smarty. I will speak English today, but I'm also can do Russian or Ukrainian. So if you want to ask questions or just talk, and you can use any language. I'm not sure if you know me. I'm doing SEO in the United States, and I've been doing SEO for 8 years, maybe more. I used to be working from Ukraine. That's where I was born, and that's where I was building my business in. So I'll be talking today of how I did that and how I used guest blogging to build my connections while being far away from the country which I was doing business in. So I guess that will be the central topic of today's talk, not guest blogging for brand building and for business building.
To kill germs, I used to think a mouthwash had to burn. Then I went pro with Crest Pro Health mouthwash. Go pro.
Okay, but I guess that's done now. Did you hear that? Can you hear me now? I'm not sure if if that's now done. Just me or anything else? Okay, I guess we are good now. Cool. So guest blogging for brand building and business building. I did my first guest post at SEO Mars, now it's just mars.com, in 2008. And it was just the beginning of the year, and I was super nervous of guest blogging at that huge site. But I had immediate results, so that was very encouraging. Next month, I got an invitation to guest post at Search Engine Journal. So I did my first article there, and that article brought me the regular columnist and editor position at the same site. So I got, within 2 months, I got my permanent position at a huge publication, which was a huge brand building benefit for me. I was blogging monthly, and I'm sorry, I was blogging weekly for that huge site that allowed me to get known in the industry, and a lot of people were able to see what I had expertise with, and I had lots of sales and lots of recognition, and all of that thanks to a couple of guest posts that I did 2 months earlier. I understood that it was a huge benefit both for me and for site that I was writing for, because they got free content and free promotion, and I got that recognition and exposure to more channels and to more people who could find me based on my articles. So I started guest posting more and more, and I did I approached hugest publications, and because of my portfolio of all the guest posts that I did in previously, it was quite easy to get the approval for my articles. So I started actively guest posting wherever I could and building my business and my business connections based on my publications. So today, I'm sorry, it's getting slow. I used guest posting as the way to get known. I didn't care about links, about too much about traffic. I knew that I was building my expertise, and I knew that I was building my business, because I had no ability to come to the United States to talk to people there, and so I had to find other ways to build connections and to build my brand using guest posting. So that's what I was doing. And the traffic wasn't as huge from guest posts. So even if you publish an article on a huge site, you won't see as huge traffic as you would see from Google, for example, or from any direct traffic. But what's great about traffic from guest posts is that it's very targeted. So people click the links even only if they're really interested in the topic. So it's the goal conversion is huge. Even if you get like, as you see, if you get like 200 visits from your article and you spend like probably 2 hours writing it, you will see a huge conversion from it. So it's not just links, it's not just recognition. It's the traffic is really good if you do guest posting right. That's what we're going to talk today. And by the way, here you can see the green frames is the traffic from links that I used within the article, and a bit lower conversion is from the links from in the byline. It's where I talk about myself, about my sites, and if you notice, the traffic is a bit not as impressive. So when you guest post, now as a guest post, I usually use my links within the article itself, not within the article byline, because those links attract more clicks and more conversions. So that we'll talk about a bit later. So first of all, when I started guest posting, I didn't care about links at all. Sometimes I didn't even use them because I was just interested to try out different platforms and grow my influence. So that was my first aim doing guest posting. And that strategy is really what you want to start with, because if you just care about your traffic and clicks and links and whatever people start guest posting for, you will see that it will be much harder for you to build connections and to, to build your to find those who want to publish your article, because that um, people all know the value of the link right now, and if you only care about the link, they will probably they will not like your article as much as you just being authentic and want to drive value to their site. So first thing first is your influence is what really matters, because that's what you'll have throughout the time. Just one link is not good benefit that you get from a guest post. A much better thing is to build your name first, and then it will be just easier to continue and go on like that. What I was able to do with my guest posting strategy, I was never looking for clients and I was never looking for a job. So all the opportunities were coming my way because people knew what I was writing and people knew which sites I was contributing to. So I was able to choose to pick what I wanted, because that that's what my guest post spoke louder than me. Yeah, and it's the funny thing is that I've been writing for so long and I've never been really speaking English. So many people, when I came to the United States to really meet people that I was already knew online, they didn't believe I really existed because I was writing so much and no one really saw me in real life. But it didn't prevent me from building my business online. So that's that's what, even if I were now in Ukraine, I would still be able to go on as I am. Coming to United States was more like an option, but it not to grow my business. So first thing I was doing is to write articles for people to know me. And after that, when I had my name and my columns, I was able to launch any projects that I wanted to. And I already knew how to promote them, and I already knew I had all those connections, so I just was able to reuse them again and again. So first name that I did was building those connections and so people knew me, who I was, and then it was just easier to do whatever I wanted to. I got many invites to guest post because people saw me guest posting around the web, and I was trying to use all of them. So I was trying to contribute whatever I was invited to. And it was time consuming, but it was paying back because I was able to try different sites and try different communities and see what was working better for me. And when I saw that some of the blogs that I was writing for did drove a lot of results, I was able to apply for a permanent position there or to write a regular column every week or every month. So that was my strategy. I guest posted whatever I could, but just did I used the best of them to keep building connections and to keep writing those articles to the sites that I really saw a lot of huge results from. I got I got many invites, like I said, to guest post, and I was able to tell which of them were like authentic or not, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't also applying to contribute. And the first step to do is to work on your about page, saying that you want to contribute and where you're really writing for, and how to contact you if you're open for guest posting, or if you're open for being interviewed, or if you're open to be invited to some events. But I was also applying for huge sites as well, so I wasn't only relying on invites to guest posts. And what I was using was the social media first, so I wasn't just going to the site and writing the email using their email form. I was using all the methods that I was able for. First of all, LinkedIn is a great site to find common connections at huge websites. So you just open the company page of the LinkedIn and you get to see how you are connected to that company. So I can see the first connection, the first tier connection, and the secondary connections as well. So you can be introduced to those people through your common connections. So that's a very powerful networking and connecting uh, network that not many people use, unfortunately. But that's how I was able to get my best columns is through common connections on LinkedIn. I was using Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the social media sites to find common people that I know work for the huge publications I wanted to guest post for. I was asking for people who are currently contributing to introduce me to editors, and I was connecting to those editors on social media to somehow get the approval of my column. That's how I was able to find Forbes or Entrepreneur or Mashable, Lifehack, all of those sites that I or currently contributing or I used to be contributing are all from common connections. And there are different uh, types of guest post columns that you can use. You can apply to be one-time contributor, which is the easier way to test the ground. If that's a huge site, you can apply to be a free columnist or a free writer of a series of articles to build up your influence there. You can apply to be interviewed, which is a very popular form of content right now. If you have a story, if you built your business, or if you discovered some of the tactic you want to share, be interviewed. It's another form of guest post that brings you in the center of discussion and helps you build your brand as well. Or you can do all of it as well. There are more ways to connect to the editorial team of any site. Many of them hold weekly or monthly Twitter chats, and you can become their guest and apply to be their contributor from there, or participate in Google Hangout, or connect if you go to conferences, connect on the event. So there are many ways to to become contributor of a huge site. It's not. It's usually just completing, just sending an email with your application never worked for me. I'm not sure if that works for anyone else, but I usually find all those other ways to connect to people who can get me that opportunity and write for the huge site. This is very important because in many ways, in many cases, I saw a person just write a guest post and leave forever. But the 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 most important thing about guest posting is that it allows you to build your following and to build your connections through all other things that you can do with your guest posts. Of course, you can share you on your site, on your to your social media followers, but more importantly, you have to interact with people who either participate or come post replies, comments, and share your article on social media. You can also, I make sure that I find out other contributors and other editors and I connect them to them on social media as well, because I will be able to use those connections in the future. I've seen many editors who leave one huge site and move to another huge site, and that's when they invite me to come with them and write articles for those huge sites as well. So connecting, making networking and making uh, close, building closer connections to the editorial team of the site that you are writing for, especially if it's a huge site like Forbes or Lifehack or any other huge site that many people read and visit. It's not just that you write an article and leave. It's the connections. The most important thing about the guest post, about your guest post, is building those connections that will be able to discover more opportunities in the future. And the most interesting part is the links. And that's the reason many people really start guest posting. That's not why I started guest posting, but I know that many people do that for the sake of a link, because the link drives higher rankings and in many cases they drive traffic as well. So I talking about this as the last point deliberately because I don't want to talk about links all the time. But I know that many people really know about guest posting just because that's one of the popular ways to build links to the site or to the clients. Like I said in the beginning, now I'm linking from the body of my articles because those links convert better and they really uh, get more exposure and clicks, and they work just overall better. But the most important point here is that I'm always open with my editors that my site and I'm going to link to it from the article. And most of the editors are always very, they never mind and they say sure, unless if I'm so open, there is no reason for them to reject those articles because just of my links. The um, the important part here is that you link not for the anchor text or not for Google rankings, but you link for exposure, and there you never, you're always authentic about that. There, I'll show you an example. Yeah, yeah, I never try to sneak those links within the article saying that um, that's a useful resource or being salesy about that. It just the way you how you do that and how open you are and how much editors know about what you're doing. If you're open with everyone and those links add value to the discussion, that link will attract traffic and the editors will also never mind about that. So yeah, that's, so I'm always open saying that that's my project and I'm never trying to sneak those links to get clicks or to hide anything from the editor. I'm always saying that I'm never promoting it. I'm just stating that I have it and how it helps. But that's the link that drives traffic because it's in the body of the article and it's very obvious that people it's what about the article is. It solves the problem that articles brings up. So it now I'm not relying on Google traffic at all because there is no search term that I would be using that people would be using to find my site. But I'm relying on that guest posting traffic, mentioning my site in some of the guest posts that I write, and people click those links, and I rely growing my site will rely on referral traffic from guest posts. And I guess I'm done unless you have any questions.